was when I went in for the standard 20-week checkup at the doctor's. And that's when they came back and they said something was wrong. They couldn't see any arms. Once she stopped growing inside of me, they were going to take her out.
And all of a sudden he got really silent. And he didn't say anything. And he looked, and he looked, and he looked, and he looked. And he said, okay, go out in the hall and wait, and we'll come back to you. So we did a video conference with Iowa City. This is when they said it's Cornelia de Lange syndrome.
Once they knew something was wrong, they kept asking if we wanted to get rid of her. And that was never going to be an option. I guess I didn't care what was wrong with her. How she was still my child. And I would deal with whatever was going to happen.
She came out and she was purple. She's almost dead. I mean, there was no response almost at all.
Things in the hospital weren't the best. We did almost lose her. She, I believe, asphyxiated, and I think my husband tried to protect me to not let me know how severe it really was, but I think we almost had lost her then.
I didn't let her know what I saw. I didn't want her to worry or to think about that. She had just given birth, and I didn't want her to be stressed out, and so I just kept telling her everything was okay. One of my favorite moments was the day that we took her out of the hospital and took her home for the first time over 2 months. She spent in the hospital, surgeries, nearly dying in hospitals.
My goal was to make sure she made it out of the hospital, and we succeeded in that. Our faith got us through everything with her. Our priest kept wanted to baptize her in the hospital, and I said, no, she's coming home and going to the church. And that was the one thing I held on to, and it helped.
It was Father Bob's last baptism. Man, he oiled her up, that holy oil, the baptismal oil. He's like, he dipped back in, he's going, she gets a little extra oil. I remember him saying that. He said she gets a little extra oil, and he dipped in again and he rubbed it on her.
It was the Saturday before Halloween, and Claire was fussy. She'd been fussy since about Wednesday.
Unbeknownst to us, she was already filling up with fluid. We didn't realize it.
The Monday before all of this, she had gone to the doctor and had a complete checkup of everything. I mean, they checked everything and they said she was doing great.
When I fed her, I couldn't get the normal amount of food to go into the feeding tube. And some of the food was coming back out. And I'm like, Jane, something's not right, because, her food's coming back out of her feeding tube. And I got her up into the recliner and started rocking her. She was just fussy as could be, and she dirtied her diaper.
My husband was changing her pants in the family room floor, and he's like, started yelling that she quit breathing.
I'm looking at her, and she just had this look, and she was gasping for air. And I rubbed her chest. I'm like, Claire. And I remember yelling to Jane, I'm like, Jane, call 911. Claire is not breathing.
The ambulance, they did get a heartbeat, so they had a heartbeat going. She had lost quite a bit of oxygen in the ambulance on the way there, and she was brain dead. And so I think we had her on life support for about 3 hours.
Her pediatrician was there, and they got her breathing. Her organs were shutting down, and while they got her on the ventilator, it's only a matter of time, and she'll pass. I was asked a question no parent should be asked. And would you like me to turn off the ventilator? I told her that it's a terrible question to ask a bear.
She had passed away, and her body became very heavy. She was only probably about 70 pounds, but she felt like it was 20 pounds or more. She just became like you were holding a rock.
The night before, we had the visitation, and holy buckets, I couldn't believe the number of people that came to the visitation. And this is for a little girl that was in this world for a little over 4 months. And you find out, how many lives you touch. A funeral's not a closure. Here it is 14 years later, and it still hurts like it was yesterday. It still hurts. Our faith was probably the number one thing that helped us get through this together.
It's one of those things that God will get you through it. We had talked about having another one, and we weren't going to because we figured we were going to focus on what Claire needed and taking care of her. And I believe partially that's why God took her when he did, because I was in my late 30s, and if we would have had her for a couple of years, I probably wouldn't have had another child.
And that's when Grace was born in July the following year. We go to Claire's grave on her birthday. We go to Claire's grave on the day she died.
She was like a caterpillar here on earth, and up in heaven she's a butterfly because she's flying around and she's normal.
We had everything with her. Great joys and great sorrow. And that teaches you how to live life.